Right. 29 May 2022. And today I've got a very, very strange story. This is something that I've been following for a long time. And this issue has gripped the whole of Zimbabwe and also South Africa. You know that we published the story of the son of Kuda Mahachi, who was burnt with hot water in South Africa and then transported to Zimbabwe or smuggled to Zimbabwe. And this story, it seemed obvious when you looked at it. The child was burnt and he was sent out of the country illegally. So it was almost as if it's obvious. But over the past few weeks, I've received certain documents, I've received certain voice notes that have made me start to doubt what happened there. And I want to take you through the information that I've got. And I want to start by saying, maybe Kuda Mahachi did not burn the child. Maybe his wife, his ex-wife, or his second wife, because I believe that Kuda and Marita, his original wife, they still had something going on together way after he married his current wife, Rose. So this is where the whole issue is coming from, in my belief. So this is Kuda Mahachi, SuperSport United player, very popular player, and also player for the Warriors. And I think the young man has suffered, especially with the withdrawal or the suspension from SuperSport, where he plays. So let's be fair to him. Let's go through the information that we've got. And let's start with what happened today. Today, Kuda and his wife Rose, they went to Mpilo Hospital and they had a court order against Marita to be allowed to see the son. So obviously, if you get a court order, it means you presented evidence. They also had a lawyer with them when they went to Mpilo Hospital to see the child, Diego. And I want to show you something. I've got a video of Diego running in the hospital. So let's show you this video. Right. So I want to specifically give you, to point your attention to the head of Diego. So that is the first thing I want to point to you. So this is the original picture of Diego's head that we published. And I want to take you back to that video. And I want you to pay specific attention to the head. Right, you can clearly see that Diego's head does not have those bands that are in the original picture. So to me, I started to question what is happening here. And I also managed to obtain some footage or some audio, a recording between Marita and Mahachi speaking. I also managed to obtain a court order or a court application, which has been done by the lawyers of Marita. And in this court application, Marita is demanding $50,000 a month maintenance from Mahachi. She's also demanding a damages of 2.5 million rands from Mahachi. That is immediate payment. Currently, she's receiving 3,000 rands a month from Mahachi for maintenance. That is for the two children, Diego and Dineo. And then the other issue that also arose is that Kuda Mahachi went to NAST, to the university there in Bulawayo, and he did a paternity test. And what came out of the paternity test is that the young girl, Dineo, is not his child. This child was the child, during his marriage with Marita, Marita went on to cohabitate with another man, a cross-border transporter, a Malaysia, and she got pregnant. And that child is not Mahachi's child. So the whole relationship is crazy, is impossible to understand. But also Mahachi continued to be in love with Marita after discovering that she had a child with another man. So the whole situation is crazy. But my understanding here of this whole situation is that these two are having problems among themselves. They're fighting. And Marita is taking advantage of the popularity of Mahachi to obviously try to bring him down. So if you look at the court order, the court application by Marita's lawyers, which I've put on gambago.com, if you go to gambago.com now, you will see the court application. What the lawyers are saying is, if Mahachi does not pay the $50,000 a month, 50,000 rands a month, and the 2.5 million rands upfront damages, they are going to apply to Home Affairs to get him deported from South Africa. So they want the South African authorities to withdraw his citizenship of his work permit. So from all this happened on 4 May. You can see that clearly Marita is not concerned about the child. There's nothing in the court papers about the child. She's more concerned about the money. There's a big problem here in Marita's story. I know my brother Ezra has been following this story for a long time, but there's a lot of holes in the story. And I'm not saying this for any other purpose. I just think that there's more to this story than what we're being told. Marita has got a lot of explaining to do. So without me going into too much detail, what I want to do is I want to play for you part of the voice notes. Marita's mother, she's also part of this. Marita's mother has been saying to people that they must embarrass Mahachi. And it's strange because I cannot believe that she did that. She went to the extent of asking people if they could embarrass Mahachi because he dumped her daughter. So let's play that voice note first. I want you to hear her where she's asking people if they cannot embarrass this young man who dumped her daughter. So let's play that first.
Maliri shuwa ubonile kumachi kuti uyenzeni shu mtwana. Antu Marita ukucherire kuti kuhamba njani. Lina lile kutwa kwini leo aba Facebook lao shuwa liyechuleka kuti lifake ku Facebook kuti litili na usoka stawi uyenze so mtwana liyechuleka kuti libali. Right, so that is the first portion. I hope you guys are hearing this because I'm using headphones, and I hope you're hearing what she's saying here. She is saying, you guys who've got access to Facebook, why don't you embarrass this young man on social media? And I just want to answer Wirimai here. Let's answer this question. Hospital yauri kuti mwana aimanya ndeye kupi inonzi ani. Right. So this hospital is obviously Mpilo Hospital from my understanding. I don't know where this video is from. I've got the original video. You can go to Ezra Svanda's page. He's got the one that is edited. The one I'm playing for you is not edited. So you can see the child is there, he's running. The same video is also there on Ezra's platforms. You can go and look at that. So I didn't make it up. Now let's go to the bigger story here. The bigger story is that Marita had a child with another man when she was married to Mahachi. And Marita's mother was told by Mahachi. So let's look at that story, that video, very, very quickly, at that audio. Let's play that audio. And then I don't want to play the whole audios. Tomorrow I'll join them up together and then I'll play them as a live.
Ngithi abengafuni ukuthi njengomama lina licabanga ukuthi ngcane maybe amfuna ukukhangela abantwana limbophela umoya njengento elana elalikhuluma ukuthi ngandidamba abantwana. Bengigcine ngimtshela iqiniso. I think maybe ulitshelile mbekalitshela bengimtshela iqiniso ukuthi 2019 ngihamba ngahlola igazi bengizithulele but ngilomntwana oyi-1 la udilishi uphumile emaphepheni asemntanami ngimsendele lamaphepha ngikhona. Umntwana engilayo nguDiego so ngihamba ngayenza i-DNA test. So bengisithi lihlale likwazi ngihamba ngayenza i-DNA test yegazi kwaphuma ukuthi uBoy ngumntanami then uDilisha simntanami. So bengifuna
Okay, so I'm going to put this all up together tomorrow. There are about 20 minutes. These discussions between the mother of Marita and Mahachi. So she knows that Dineo is not the child of Mahachi. And Mahachi, it's funny to me though, why Mahachi stayed with this woman after found out that she had a child with another man. So from 2019, 2020, 2021, he lived with this woman, knowing that the child that she had was not his. And he also did not tell her that he knew that this child was not his child. He did this private DNA test at NAST. And I think that that's illegal. You cannot do a DNA test without the mother being present. So it was a private thing that they did there at NAST, where they did the blood test without the mother. And it was found that this child, the girl, does not belong to him. So there's been a lot of fighting. And there is another voice note where the two discuss this issue. So Mahachi and Marita, they actually discussed this issue, that this child is not his child. And then I want to go to the last part, which is my belief that Marita still loves Kuda. So if you listen to one of the voice notes where the two are talking, you can see that she still wants to meet Mahachi, although she knows that he's married. So I'm going to quickly play that clip, and I don't want to take too long with this. So let's play that portion.
Yeah, usithi sikhulume ngifuna sikhulume ngani senzwile nguMarita uthini? Khulume kubi ngaphi kade angiyakhuluma la ukuthi ngiyabuza ukuthi uJawfa wakho sibendele wamvusa ngithi. So ngiyabuza phela ukuthi ufuna sikhulume ngani? Khuluma kuhle ukukhuluma kuhle. Alright, sorry ukukhuluma kubi kuphela bese kuthiwa ngeke. Sorry usithi sikhulume ngani? Ngiyakwazi ukuthi uyarecord ukurekhoda ngabantu record umuntu mina ndifone yi-1. Umsebenzi lo kanti ifoni iyarekhoda ke? Hayi amayirekhodi angezi lokho mina rekhodi ma-conversation abantu yabefuna ukuprova. Ikumbuza ukuthi uthi umfonela ukuthi ufuna sikhulume ufuna ukundastand ukuthi awufa uthini. Sembuye ngifuna ukubuyela ekhaya. So hayi angaqeda ukukhuluma. Ngifuna enzo mina ngisefuna ukufonela. Yeah, ngiyakuzwa awufa. Sengifuna ukubuyela ekhaya. Ngifuna ukuwithdraw.
Right, so I want to end it there. I'm going to put this up tomorrow. I'm not going to do a live. I'm going to put these 3 or 4 voice notes together, and then we'll make that our live for tomorrow. What I want to say is that having 2 wives is extremely tricky. The guys who have got 2 wives, I think they understand. This issue is very complicated. And I now understand why the police did not arrest Mahachi. There is more here, and it's not straightforward. And I hope that my brother Ezra will do a thorough investigation since he's on the ground in Zimbabwe. Marita is not behaving like someone who is concerned about the child. She is more concerned about money. She's more concerned about meeting with Mahachi. All these things that you are hearing here, they are happening after the child was banned. These voice notes that you're hearing here, they are happening after the child was banned. I'm not saying the child was not banned. The child was banned. The question is, what are the circumstances surrounding the banning of the child? Did Mahachi take water from the stove and throw it on the boy? I doubt very much that happened. I doubt that Mahachi or Rose just banned the child for ritual purposes. I think the story that we're being told initially is not the full story. Something might have happened, even something accidental. There were a lot of mistakes made on both sides, but something else. And Marita here has got a lot of questions of questions to answer. On 4 May, way after the child was banned, she and her lawyers are making a demand of 50,000 rands a month. They're making a demand of 2.5 million rands a month from Kuda. Why are they making these demands for money? And why are they not mentioning anything about the child? What is Marita withdrawing? If you can hear from the last statement that she said withdraw. What is she withdrawing? And why does she want to meet Kuda? Why was Kuda and Marita staying together in Kempton Park in late 2021? These questions are crazy. And why is Kuda living with a woman that got pregnant by another man? And I'm seeing my brother here, Ezra, is saying he doesn't have 2 wives. The audios you're playing are 4 years old. Don't mislead people. You have no information, my brother. Please stop embarrassing yourself. I think, Ezra, you don't understand. Let me share for you something, because you think maybe I'm just making this up. So I'm going to share for you the court papers which were filed by Marita on the 4th of May, 2022. That is less than 2 weeks ago. Marita is making a demand for cash from Kuda Mahachi. And in her court papers, she says her hands were broken by Mahachi in September 2021 when they were living together in Kempton Park. These are court papers from the lawyers. So go to gambago.com. This is the top story right now. The court papers are attached. I'm not talking here things that I don't know. And that's why I'm saying, my brother Ezra, go to Marita tomorrow, present her with these papers. Ask her why she's making these demands on 4 May 2022. And she'll give you the answer, obviously, that will probably satisfy all of us. So I don't want to obviously say anything that I don't know. I'm working with what I've got. The voice notes are not from 2022 because they're talking about the child being banned. So it can be from 4 years ago. So go through this evidence, my brother. And Ezra, you've got my number. I will freely give you the audios that I've got here so that you can do a proper investigation. Ask Marita what she was withdrawing. She's saying she's withdrawing. Ask her what she's withdrawing, and then you understand what is going on here. Also, go and look at the court papers from the lawyers. I want us to have a proper investigation on this issue. Also, I want us to go through the comments. I've seen some very interesting comments here. So I want to wrap up. I want to keep this below 20 minutes. And I hope that we will be able to get Kuda to talk to us about this issue. Right. Lindsay is saying Mahachi is the one who banned the kids. Yes, according to the original allegation, Marita said Mahachi is the one who banned the kid. And then they did not take him to hospital. That is the original allegation. Let's go to another comment. Eddie saying the whole story of Mahachi banning his own son wasn't making any sense, though from the beginning. I do agree, it doesn't make sense why Mahachi would ban his own child, especially given that he's got another child who is not his own child with the same woman. It's crazy for me how Mahachi could keep a child that is not his. Like he's basically supporting Dineo, who is not his, with the same woman. And why would you then go out and ban his own child? I don't get it. And then Melissa is saying it's a lie. The voice notes happened after the child was banned. I think the guys don't understand. I want to take you back to what I just said. Mahachi and Marita were staying together in Kempton Park in September 2021. That is where she says he broke her hand. And that is why they're making a demand of 2.5 million. The case of 2.5 million is ongoing in South Africa. Marita is supposed to come here to sign the papers for that court case. If you go to gambako.com, you see we reported that story last week. What I'm saying here is, let's do a bit more investigation. Let's not crucify the young man before we do a bit more investigation. There is more behind this story than just Mahachi taking a kettle of boiling water and throwing it on his son. I think there's a bit more investigation that is required here. Now let's me look at another story. Ezra, I want us to do an investigation. You are on the ground. Let's do more investigation, and let's get this sorted. Right, Nozi, I want to end with your question. So who banned the child then? I think that is a good question. My belief is that the child was banned, yes, and the child was banned in the house of Kuda. Kuda made the mistake of not taking the child to hospital. And if you go to Ezra's page, you will see why they did not take the child to hospital. The child was either supposed to go to Waterfall Hospital or was supposed to go to Baragwana Hospital. But I think they made the decision that it won't be okay to take that child to Baragwana Hospital. So they decided to send the child instead to Zimbabwe. And I think at the end of the day, there is a complication here of the relationship between Marita and Mahachi is a problem. And Mahachi's people also didn't want the child to be in Marita's hand. So this is where all these things came up. And if Mahachi is guilty of this thing, Interpol is there in Zimbabwe, they would have arrested him by now. And the fact that he got a court order, it has certain meanings. It means something. So let's give it a bit of chance. And let's deal with this issue. Let's not take one side. Both of these parties, they've got a lot of answers, of questions to answer. And Ezra, I want you to look at the court papers, that the lawyer's letter, which is written 4 May, which is exactly 25 days ago. Please, before you take one side and stick to it, go and look at the papers from 4 May 2022. Why is Marita demanding $50,000? Why is she demanding $2.5 million? 2.5 million rands and 50,000 rands from Mahachi. Let's answer those questions and let's ask Marita the difficult questions. Why is she making those financial demands? And why is she making a demand that she wants to withdraw, Home Affairs to withdraw Mahachi's permit or citizenship? What are those demands? Does she agree that the child Dineo is not the child of Mahachi? She had that child out of wedlock or through an adultery with another man when she was married to Mahachi. Those questions need to be asked here. And the question is, where did you get court papers, Gambakwe? I am in South Africa, and court papers here are freely available. The court case was in the newspaper on Sunday last week, so I was able to get them. Obviously, I've got my lawyers here who can get me anything. In fact, I've got people here who can get me anything. All right, guys, I don't want to keep going, and I really want us to open our minds. The case, to me, does not make sense. If it's not a ritual, it does not make sense to me why Mahachi would take hot water and pour on his son on the very day he arrived. This thing happened 2 days after the child arrived in South Africa. And then, obviously, the whole case around the movement of the child to Zimbabwe, all these things, we need to find out what is happening, but we need to open our minds. We don't need to be one-sided about this whole issue. And then, Brenda, you're saying stick the child issue, please. Obviously, I can't fail to raise the issue of Mahachi taking care of someone else's child and doing so well. Why would he take care of Dineo, who is not his child, and then go and burn his own child? It does not make sense to me. And Ezra, I'm not questioning your credentials. I'm just trying to present what I've got. I'm trying to get people to see that there is another side to this story. Let's give Kuda a chance. And you know how much I slammed Kuda when this whole thing still came out. Let's give him a chance to explain himself. If Ezra manages, try to get hold of Kuda and try to get hold of Rose and find out what happened. Why did they make the decision to send the child to Zimbabwe? And why did they not fly the child? Why did they decide to take the child through the illegal way and not through the official channels? And then obviously, why are these pictures being circulated? These are obviously not the correct pictures of the child. I think you can all see from the picture of the child that his head was not bent. Right, so it's clear. It's clear to me that there's something there, something else is happening. Let's deal with these issues. And my brother Ezra, I'm going to give you a call tomorrow so that we can unpack this issue. I want Marita to answer a few questions, and I think you should also be interested in those answers. Why is she making those financial demands? And why is it happening 2 weeks ago? Is this related? Is it connected? Why is a mother saying, why don't we embarrass Kuda Mahachi on Facebook, on social media? This is something that is open, it's available. I'm going to publish it tomorrow. I'm going to publish the whole conversation tomorrow. And I understand there are more conversations. I'm going to bring those conversations out as soon as I get them. But for now, very, very difficult topic for me to handle because it has also taken certain dimensions. Like, people are very emotional about this issue. I want people to, and I hope that Marita would get in touch with me and I ask her these questions, or her lawyers. The financial demands to me are absurd under these circumstances. I don't understand. And also the demand for Home Affairs to withdraw Kuda's payment. And also the fact that Kuda has already been suspended. He's already suffering from this situation because he doesn't get paid when he's not playing. Right, that is it for now. And someone says I must add Ezra. I think we'll do that tomorrow or the day after. Let's digest what we have now. Let Ezra get a chance to look at the documents that I have presented, and then I'll talk to him. You all know that Ezra started this story. He's the one who broke the story. So let me give him a chance to go through the documents, especially the court papers, and ask Marita the questions. Ask her why she's making those financial demands. Ask her what she's withdrawing. And those are important questions which need to be answered by someone who's making such allegations of someone burning a child. Someone who burns a child is evil. And I don't think that Kuda is evil. I think that something just went wrong here and they need to address it, and we all need to come down to the truth. Thank you very much for watching, and good night to everybody.
Kuno aho pano mama wanna get it nice. I know pura meso, I know pura nzebe, I know kaya marigi. Kama kwe doti kom, wengele doti kom usasai.
Kambakwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa paninyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotara pano madiko kumunzwa mugovane.com. Kamba kwe vanogaya mari vanotara mari vanosiya mari. Kamba kwe vanotara fea kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei. Vanhu muterere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei. Mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere. Kamba kwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotara straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence plus intelligence.
Entertainment, current affairs and news. Kamba kwe don't come. Usasarire, kamba kwe anukaya mari.